Sorry about that, guys.
Hello, stranger. You must be hungry and thirsty. Perhaps I can interest you in my
Hungry
wares.
indeed. I was actually on my way to see the paladins.
There's little chance of that. Since the paladins made themselves at
Nom
home
nom.
in the upper end of town, hardly anyone gets in there anymore.
Can you help me get into the upper quarter?
Me? Nah. I don't have much say here myself. There are a few people in the lower city who have enough influence to get you past the guards. Matteo, my boss, is one of them. Maybe you should talk to him.
Where can I find Matteo?
You're standing right outside his shop. Just go on in. He's practically always there.
What about the other influential citizens?
The merchants and master craftsmen here on the main street are the most important figures in the city. You should try to get accepted by one of them as an apprentice like me. Since I started working for Matteo, the people in the city treat me with respect.
Is it really true? I need some money.
Sorry
and
that I
I'm looking for
don't
work.
talk, guys,
I've
but
heard
I'm
that
eating.
Bosper has trouble with his suppliers. His shop is right over there. They say he pays pretty well.
What do you have to offer?
At the moment, I don't have much choice. The damned landowner doesn't deliver anymore. And what we get from the small farms isn't enough to meet the demands of the city.
Tell me more about the peasants' revolt.
It's quite simple. Onar, the fat landowner, won't pay any more taxes to the city. Imagine, we're at war with the orcs, and that fat slob wants everything for himself. Normally, the city guard would take firm measures in such cases, but now comes the best part. They say Onar has hired mercenaries to keep the troops from the city off his back. Mercenaries! The whole thing will end in a damn war, as if one war weren't enough.
You don't say. What do you know about Onar's mercenaries?
I heard that most of them are former convicts from the mining colony. And their leader's supposed to have been a big shot with the king, a general or something, whom they put away as a traitor. These are terrible times.
Show me your work.
Nah. Thanks, mate. Let's talk with Matteo.
What can I do for you?
What are you selling?
What do you...
I can offer you everything you need to survive in the wild. Weapons, torches, provisions, even armor. I still have a special piece in stock. Double hardened armor of snapper leather. Still unused. Interested?
What do you know about the paladins?
What do you...
Since these bastards have come to the city, I've had nothing but trouble. The last time I was headed for the upper end of town, the guards flat out stopped me and asked me what was my business there.
And?
Of course they let me in. I had my shop in the city when most of those pompous asses were still chasing pigs with wooden swords. And yesterday, the bastards came and confiscated half of my goods.
The paladins seized your goods?
Everything I had stored in the backyard. They simply posted a guard in front of the entrance to the yard. If I'm lucky, they won't take everything. At least they might leave the armor here.
Can you help me to get into the upper quarters?
What? What are you going to do there?
I've got an important message.
Well, well. Have you tried getting past the guards?
I don't see why I should even try.
You're probably right. I don't know how important your message is, and it's none of my business. But even if you told them that a ship full of orcs just anchored in the harbor, they'd send you away. Because they have their orders.
So, can you help me to get into the upper quarters or not?
It seems to be really important to you. The question is, how important is it to you?
What are you getting at?
I can help you. After all, I'm one of the most influential people here, but it'll cost you.
What are you asking for your help?
What do you...
100 gold pieces.
You shark.
You take it easy. It isn't your gold I have in mind.
But...
In principle, it's my gold. Gritta, the carpenter's niece, hasn't paid what she owes me in ages. But the little brat is constantly running around in new clothes. That means she has the money. I'd like to beat it out of her. But Master Thorben, the carpenter, is also a very influential man. Get me the money and I'll help you.
Where exactly can I find this Gritta?
Like I said, she's the carpenter's niece. His house is down the
I love
street, the
peanut
last
butter.
house on the
So
right before
tasty.
the smithy.
How exactly can you help me?
How? Quite simple. I'll use my influence to see to it that one of the master craftsmen here takes you on as an apprentice. As such, you'll practically be a citizen of the city and can enter the upper quarter. Besides which, you'll earn something while you're at it.
Where could I sign on as an apprentice then?
Basically, with any master here on the main street. That would be Harrod the Smith, Bosper the Bowmaker, Thorben the Carpenter, or Constantino the Alchemist. One of them is bound to take you on. But it's important that the other masters agree. That's always been the custom here in Corinus.
And how do I get the approval of all the other masters?
You just have to convince them. Go and talk to them. But if more than one of them is against you, you don't stand a chance. So behave yourself.
Why don't you take me on as an apprentice?
I would, but the other masters wouldn't agree. I just recently took on another apprentice.
I see. Is there another way to get into the upper quarters?
Perhaps. If I think of anything, I'll let you know.
Now, there are 3 ways to get the armor. You can purchase it for 250 pieces of gold, which I will not do. You can get yourself a sleeping spell and put that guard next to here to sleep and then sneak inside. You know, but I will not do that either. I will use the 100% free method. Let's get the armor. Make sure you save beforehand, because if you do it wrong and you jump wrong, there is a small chance that you die. Whee! Oh, almost. The third way is just to climb on this roof. It's gonna take a couple of tries, but that's because, you know, the controls. Oh, sometimes it doesn't react, sometimes it doesn't, but then you don't make it. If you fall on that side, you die. So be careful. Just keep trying until you get it. Most of the time I do it in run, but lately, you know, it takes a lot of tries to actually get it done. But this method is 100% free. Ah, come on. No need to spend gold on a sleeping spell scroll. No need to glitch or buy it. You know, buying it is the stupidest thing you can do, because it costs you 250 pieces of gold. Sleeping spell is about 100 gold, which is 150 gold cheaper. There we go. And this method is 100% free, which is the best way to do it. Let me get that one. There we go. Some citizen clothing, which is not all that great. Let's talk with Regis. He will give us a
you're new in
hidden
town, huh?
quest.
Yes, and what about you?
I've come from the mainland, and now I'm hanging around here. I'm almost out of gold, so all I can do now is join the militia, I guess. But I don't want to do that. I won't be slaughtered by those orcs on the king's behalf.
What can you tell me about the militia?
One of the paladins has taken command. A certain Lord Andre. He's trying to mobilize half the city in case the orcs attack. But you need to be a citizen of the town in order to be admitted. As far as I know, if you're not a citizen, you can train anyway. But you won't be officially admitted.
Yeah, you can do that, but there are 3 types of citizen clothing. You have the rich upper quarter citizen clothing. You know, you have this one, which is the one that Diego wears. And you have this one, which is a merchant's armor, but I always sell them, you know.
You hardly know who to believe these days.
The one thing I always do, if I want to keep them, is just wear them. Can't. They don't divide. But I always, you know, just sell them because this armor is better in general. What else can you tell me about this Lord Andre?
He has taken over the
Well, you can do
position of
that,
judge
yeah.
as well. If you cause any trouble in this town, you're gonna have to answer to him. I was once in a brawl with a citizen. He went crying to Lord Andre and ratted me out. That little matter cost me 50 gold pieces. I was lucky that it happened at night, or others would have witnessed it. The more people complain about you in this town, the higher your penalty will be.
Who did you fight with?
With a fellow named Valentino. He often hangs out in the tavern near the temple. I'm not usually a violent person, but that guy needed his face rearranged in the worst way.
Has anything exciting happened?
You could say that. They robbed Bosper the bowmaker. What a brazen thing to do, I tell you. The fellow just ambled into the shop in broad daylight and grabbed himself a bow. And Bosper right after him, hollering, "Stop right there, you rogue!" But the thief was too fast.
Nobody will learn anything from me.
I see. Well, thank you for the info. Now, the hidden quest with this guy is to knock Valentino down. And then he will give you a ring. And then you have to go to the Corrigan's tavern and talk with Corrigan. And he will say, you know, Valentino couldn't pay his tab last night. Gave him the beating, and just give the ring that Regis gives to you. Give it to Corrigan and it won't complete the hidden quest. Well, to be honest, Mage, I need to get into the upper quarters.
Where the paladins are? Forget it. You need to be a respected citizen here, or at least hold a decent job. As a stranger, you stand no chance of getting in.
Slaapkopie. Slaapkopie. I'm looking for work.
I could use a new apprentice. The last one just gave up his job 2 days ago. Do you know anything about hunting then?
Well,
I could teach you how to skin animals. I'll pay you well for every skin you bring me.
Now, if you wonder which is the best merchant to become apprentice with, I would say, oh goddamn hiccups, I would say Harriet the Smith. Because if you craft weapons and you wear one of them, you can create infinite amount of gold by wearing the same weapon. You know, just make sure that you craft the best of the best which you at that moment can wear and craft, and equip one of them and just sell it, and you will get infinite amount of gold without even losing all the weapons that you crafted, because the one that you wear will trigger it, you know, you can't give it away, and everything will remain in inventory, and then you can just make infinite amount of gold. I'm not gonna do that obviously, but you can do it if you wanted to. Another way to get infinite amount of gold is with Buster, with the Shadow Beast horns, which is only available if you become an apprentice, a mercenary. But that one will end at chapter 4, if I'm correctly. Chapter 4 or 5 is the moment where he, you know, his supplier has died in some sort of mysterious way, and then he will not purchase any more Shadow Beast horns. But that's also a possibility way of making infinite gold. What if I want to sign up with one of the other masters?
Boulder Dash.
Boulder Dash.
Harold and Matteo already have apprentices. Constantino the alchemist is a loner, and he has
Combine that and you're rich.
And as for Thorben, everyone knows
Got a
he's
Google
dead broke.
message.
He probably couldn't even pay you. I, on the other hand, am in urgent need of an apprentice, and I pay
Got
well
myself
too.
a new
But
subscriber
no
on my
matter where you
YouTube
wanna
channel.
sign on, you need the approval of all
Number
other
4.
masters from the lower part of town.
Why did your apprentice give up his
All
job?
he said was that it had become too dangerous out there. If you're really interested, then you can ask him yourself. His name is Bartok. He's probably hanging out near Corrigan's tavern. Go through the underpass from the smithy, then you're headed straight for it.
Okay, okay. And what if I want to start as your apprentice?
Before I take you on, I need to know, of course, whether you're any good at all.
So what do you want me to do for you?
I will teach you how to skin an animal, and you will bring me, let's say, half a dozen wolf skins.
6 wolf skins.
Then I'll know that you have learned your trade. If it doesn't take you forever, and if the skins are in acceptable condition, I will take you on if you like. Or, you can start with one of the other masters, if that's what you really want.
Now before you will join an apprenticeship with any of the masters, make sure that they give you the approval to join any other merchant, any other, merchant to become an apprentice with. Due to the fact that it will give you XP, except for Constantino the Alchemist, because he doesn't give a shit about who you join, but if you do that with Herod the Smith, Bosper the Bowmaker, Thorben the Carpenter, which you can become an apprentice with, and Matteo, which you also can't become an apprentice with, it will give you 400 XP a time, which is nice. Teach me how to skin animals.
Teach me. Right.
Right.
It's quite easy, really. You take a sharp blade and cut open the animal's belly. Then make a few small incisions on the inside of the legs, and you can peel off the skin. Bring me the wolf skins and we shall see.
Yeah, we will see. I've heard that somebody stole from you.
Who told you that? Probably Bartok, huh?
No, he didn't.
Didn't he have anything better to tell you? Oh, well. Let me tell you, if I get hold of this bastard, he can say his prayers. I left the shop for only a moment. When I came back, I could only just see him leave, with my bow on his shoulder. I called the guards right away, but the lowlife ran towards the harbor, and they lost him there. I lit a bonfire under their asses then, and they searched the entire harbor district, but they didn't find a thing. Those bumbling lackeys. I bet my bow is still in town somewhere. I informed the guards on both city gates, and they haven't seen anyone leave with my bow. When I get my hands on that bastard.
Which you will never. But okay, man. No problem at all, Bosper. I will get you your skins. Hey, Thorben.
Ah, fresh face. You're not from Corinus, are you? This is not a good time for travelers. Bandits everywhere, no work, and now the farmers have risen up too. What winds have blown you here?
I have come about Gritta.
My niece? What's your business with her? This isn't about money, is it?
She owes 100 gold pieces to the merchant Matteo.
Tell me this isn't true. Ever since that little piece of work moved in with me, I've had nothing but trouble. She's in debt with practically every single merchant in town. I had to borrow 200 gold pieces from Lamar, the moneylender, just to settle her debts. And now this. Gritta should be in the house. Go ahead, ask her. But I tell you this, she doesn't have a single gold piece.
We shall see.
What do you know about the paladins, Thorben?
Not much. They arrived by ship 2 weeks ago from the mainland. Since then, they have withdrawn to the upper end of town. Nobody here really knows exactly why they have come. Many are afraid of an attack by the orcs. I suppose, however, that they are here to quell the farmers' rebellion.
Nope. They're not. Do you know anything else about the peasants' rebellion?
Rumor has it that Onar, the landowner, has hired mercenaries to keep the king's troops from breathing down his neck.
After this guy will go to Lares and claim my XP and train my dexterity.
At paladins and militia. All we notice of this in town is that the food prices keep rising. Onar's farm lies far to the east of here. We wouldn't know if there's any fighting going on there. And if you want to know more, ask the merchants in the marketplace. They get around the island more than I do.
I'm looking for work.
Do you know anything about carpentry?
The only thing I can make out of wood is a fire.
And what about locks?
Well...
I'm sorry, but I can't use you if you know nothing about my trade. And I have no money to pay for an apprentice.
And what if I, want to start an apprenticeship with one of the other masters?
All right, I shall give you my approval. But you had better get yourself the blessing of the gods first. Say, are you a man of faith?
Well, if you mean that, do I say my prayers regularly?
Well, I see. A man who does not ply his trade with the blessing of the gods will never receive my approval. Ask for the gods' forgiveness for your transgressions. Then go to Vatras, the priest of Adanos,
And I also go to the paladin ship and get my
tell
strength
you where you
potion.
can find a priest of Innos.
And that's a
You
lot
should
of
get
gold.
his blessing too. Once you have received the blessing of the gods, I shall vote for you.
It's the only thing you need in order to get on top of the paladin ship without glitching, without cheating, is sneaking. So you know a lot about locks, huh?
What good is a fine chest without a fine lock? I make my own locks. That way, I can at least be sure I haven't built my chest that sturdy for nothing. A poorly made lock is easy to break. And there are plenty of thieves about in Corinnis, especially lately.
90% of all the chests in this city are made by Thorben the Carpenter, and all his locks have the same lock combination, so his locks are pretty much child's play to open once you know the combination. I will not do that because otherwise he will ask for 200 pieces of gold, as well as after I get, you know, the approval of the gods. But if you get Lema's ledger and give it to him, he will train you for free, which is a better option. Have you had an apprentice before?
Yes, and not too long ago.
Free is always good.
His name is Elvrich. He's my nephew. I was quite pleased with him, actually, but one day he simply didn't show up for work.
Where is Elvrich now?
How would I know? He kept hanging around that filthy brothel by the harbor. I wouldn't be surprised if he's still warming the bed of some whore down there.
And how long has it been since you last saw him?
I guess it must be about 2 weeks.
Have you reported it to the militia?
Of course I have. They were supposed to catch him and see to it that the lazy bones does his work. But I already regret that. He can do whatever he wants. Sooner or later he'll realize he'll get nowhere in Corinnis without a decent job.
Is that so?
Alright, so let's go to Leicester. Wait, let me see my beautiful wanted bits. It is me, that's for sure. Alright, so let's go to Leicester. No, not Leicester, Lares. I keep mixing those two.
Hey, I don't know you. What do you want here? Are you headed for the tavern?
No, I'm not headed for the tavern.
No, I'm...
Yeah, that's what I would have said. But that isn't important, and that's why we can get straight down to business. Since you're new here, I'll make you an offer. You give me 50 gold pieces, then you can go. That's your entrance fee for the tavern.
Don't tell me you didn't know that.
But I don't want to go to the freaking tavern.
But I...
You know, sooner or later, everyone wants to go into the tavern. So you can pay right now. Then you'll have it over with.
Let's find out what the militia thinks of that.
Let's...
The militia isn't here. And do you know why they aren't here? This here is the harbor district.
There's nothing you can do about it.
None of the militia will pick a fight with me down here. At the most, they go to the Red Lantern. You see, it's just you and me.
I could have told you that before.
Forget it. You won't get a single coin.
Then I'll take everything you have. As soon as you're lying on the ground in front of me.
Give it a try, brother.
Give it your all.
You picked the wrong day to fight, Mo.
Show him. Give it your all. Give it your all. Hit him.
Not bad.
Thanks, man.
I must be crazy.
See you,
What are you
1,000.
doing here? Did you swim here? That's one way to get past the guards at the city gate.
Hey Lares, you old scoundrel, how did you get here?
I was able to escape to the Valley of Mines just in time, together with Lee and some of the other boys. You remember Lee, don't you?
Of course I remember Lee.
Of course. I got out of the colony with him then, just after the barrier was destroyed. He and his boys are now on the farm of Onar, the landowner. He made a deal with the farmer. He and his boys defend the farm, and Onar feeds them in return.
Don't tell me you didn't know that.
1 second. I've got 5 learning
Hey,
points.
you!
I must talk to the paladins by any means.
I must.
What do you want from them?
They've got a powerful amulet, the Eye of Innos. I must have it.
And you think they'll give it to you? You'll never get into the upper end of town.
I'll find a way somehow.
Sure. If you want to ingratiate yourself with the citizens or play errand boy for the militia.
We know why the paladins are here.
Nobody knows for sure. Lots of people think it's because of the orcs, but I think there's another reason. It probably has something to do with the old penal colony.
You're a smart man, Lares. Tell me a bit more about Lee and his mercenaries.
What do you want to know?
Tell me more about the mercenaries.
Well, if you're as tough as you were back then, you shouldn't have any problems with them. Most of them are ruffians, and if you can't stand up to them, you won't get far. If you're squeamish, you don't have a chance of joining them.
Really? And where do I find the landowner's farm?
It's quite simple. You leave the seaport by the east gate, and then follow the path towards the east. I can take you there if you want.
Why aren't you with Lee and his mercenaries?
What? But I am, just not on the farm. You could say I'm our outpost in the city. We don't want the ship to sail without us.
Ship? What ship?
What? It's on the open sea harbor, behind the cliffs. Lee and a few of his people really want to get away from here. But that could take a while.
Why?
You'd better ask Lee about that. If you meet him, he's got plans.
I see. Can you cheat? Okay, let's go, man.
I cannot leave here until we know more about the missing people, or someone else takes over my duties.
Can you teach me something then?
Sure. I can help you become stronger and more dexterous if you like.
Now, since this guy is going to be pure dexterity build, bow requires dexterity, and I will use swords and the like, which requires dexterity. So teach me something. Let's improve my dexterity a bit.
You've already gotten more dexterous.
That I do know. Alright, so let's go to the paladin ship. Get myself a free strength potion.
Hey, you!
Hey, me!
Where you going? No matter what your plans are, there'll be plenty of time later. You're right in front of the Pearl of Corinus, the Red Lantern. This is the most beautiful brothel in all of Myrtana, damn it. Sailors from the most remote corners of the world dock here just to spend a few nights in the Red Lantern. And now, it's you who has the chance, nay, the honor of spending a night with Nadia, the most passionate flower of the gods. Come on in, and you're going to experience what others cannot even dream of.
Fuck that shit, man. I'm busy. I got some raiding to do. Are you guys ready to enter the paladin ship to loot that shit? I will get about 4 or 5 bags of gold, a strength potion, a ring, if I remember correctly, and some more rat fat, which I will need later on. Alright, so let's get this job done. Gotta use this area up here. Safe. Always save beforehand, just in case you get caught.